Hi, this is David here at Highland Camper Vans and welcome to the handover video of this Auto-Sleeper Topaz. We're going to take you around the van and show you the major functions and how to get all settled in for your first few trips away. Now, I recommend that you maybe bookmark the video or maybe download it to your device so you have it handy in case you're stuck when you're out and about. But of course, myself and my colleagues are available here at Highland Camper Vans, so if you are needing any help or assistance, please reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you. So I hope you find the video useful and I'll catch you at the end. So just above the entry door to the washroom, you're going to find your habitation control panel. And this habitation control panel is very straightforward to use. So to switch the 12-volt electric circuit on, we press the button here. And then this two buttons here allow us to switch which modes we want to be in. So L for leisure, V for vehicle. And this lets us switch between the two different battery systems. Now, if you want to see an indicator of the battery statuses, you just basically hold the button down and you'll see an indicator status of the batteries on the side here, and this lets you see what the battery statuses are actually doing. So to turn the water pump on for water supply, so if you want to run a tap, the shower, then you need to turn the water pump on. There's this one here. Now sometimes you'll hear a gurgly noise from the water pump. That's quite normal behavior. It's just the water pump pressurizing. And the last one here is our fresh water level. This lets us see what the fresh water levels are like in the van, whether you need to top up or not top up. When you are finished, you just turn the 12-volt socket off just here, and that will power down the habitation side, and that covers our habitation panel. So let's look at the cooking station side to your Topaz. This is located on the passenger side of the van, just behind the single passenger seat. So first things first, you need to make sure you've turned your gas on and that you've also opened the isolation taps. We'll cover those in another part of the video. So let's open up the cover. We have our two burner rings just located here, and then we have two control units and then our ignition sparker. Don't forget that you may need to turn the 12-volt on for the ignition sparker. So I'll put that on just now, give us a bit of extra light. So to turn the gas on, we just turn the knob, push it in to allow the gas to flow, press the sparker, there we go, hold it in for a few seconds, just let it warm up, and let's do the one on the other side. There we go. And that's now a gas. So we can adjust the flames by using the control device just here. Switch it back to the 0 position to turn the gas off. Have a quick listen, just make sure the gas has stopped flowing. Yep, perfect. And that's us now finished with the cooking. Now, before you close the lid and you have been cooking on here, it's recommended that you let this cool down for about 5 to 10 minutes before shutting the glass down. It just avoids any potential damage to the glass, and it goes without saying, don't put the glass down where the hobs are actually lit as well. Don't forget your ventilation rules when you're cooking with gas. You need to make sure that you have either a window open, a door open, the skylight open, some form of airflow through the van. Please don't use the gas cooker inside the van with the van completely shut up. It's just for your safety. And that there covers the cooking station. So, on the opposite side of the cook station, you're going to find the wash up area. Okay, so you've got your kitchen basin and drainer. Now, to run water through the system, you need to do a couple of things. First of all, you need to make sure you've got fresh water in the tank and you've turned the water pump on through the habitation control panel. If you are wanting hot water, you need to make sure that you turn the water boiler on, which we'll cover in another part of this video. So to turn the water on, just lift the faucet controller and that lets water to flow. And then we can turn this to adjust the temperature left and right if we have the hot water system on. Switch it back off to shut the water down, and the water will drain through into the waste tank, which I'll show you how to open later. And that covers our kitchen sink. Now let's take a look at the Dometic fridge that's fitted to your Auto-Sleeper. So your fridge can obtain power in one of three ways. It can either run on vehicle battery, electrical hookup, or gas ignition over here. So let's start with the first option. Okay, so the first option is vehicle battery. So when the vehicle is running, if you come through and then turn the fridge circuit on here, this will allow the fridge to operate while the vehicle is running. So it lets you keep things cool while the vehicle is driving. If you're on an electrical hookup, which is the green one here, switch this one on, and this then allows the vehicle to run the battery through your electrical hookup cable. Now, the temperature control for the electric hookup is controlled via this device just here. This is your temperature regulator. I would always recommend you start in the middle and see how you go with that, because the more you have this turned around, the more energy your van is going to be using. So just have a wee fiddle with this one, set the temperature how you like it, and then take it from there. So if you want to run the fridge with the gas, we need to use the other controls. So first things first, you do need to make sure that the gas bottle's switched on. You've turned the isolation taps on for the gas circuitry, so that means you are then ready to run the gas circuit. So first things first, we need to switch this to gas mode, put the igniter on, then hold this down and wait till that stops flashing. Give it a few more moments and that will now be lit on the gas. Now you can check this by opening the fridge and then looking inside the fridge. There's a little porthole down here where you will be able to see the pilot light. So this little device just down here will let you see the pilot light running. And that there would be the fridge running on the gas mode. To turn the gas off, just switch this off to the gas mode, switch the igniter circuit off, and then the fridge is now completely off. And that covers our fridge. Now let's take a look at the heater system that's in your Auto-Sleeper Topaz. So just near the kitchen sink, you have this little control device just located here, which is very, very simplified to use. You have heat mode, ventilation mode, and then temperature or fan speed, depending on which mode you're in, and then on and off button here. So first things first, let's have a look at the heat mode. So let's press the heat on. We then set the temperature with this rolly dial just here. And then what you'll hear is you'll hear the likes of the boiler start to operate down here through this vent just there. So you may hear a little whirring noise as it's operating. And then to control the temperature, just turn the dial just here to set the temperature how you want it to be. Again, what I'd recommend is maybe start in the middle, see how you go with that, and then I've adjusted up or down to suit yourself. Now, let's say we are finished with the heat. We turn the heater off with the 0 button. That will turn the heater off. Now, what's not uncommon is that the heater may continue to function for a few minutes afterwards as it's just cooling down. Perfectly normal behavior. Now, if you want to ventilate the van, let's say it's a hot day, we use this one, press that for the blue light, and this now is the fan speed. So this will then operate the same blower hiding just down here, and that will then start blowing cool air around the van itself. Again, if you want to switch everything all off, just press the 0 button and that will then switch the heating systems off. Remember, the heating system is only going to work when you've got the habitation panel turned on up here, and that is our heating system. Under the cook station in your van, you're going to find behind this panel here the grill. So to turn the grill on, it's the same as the cooking station. Make sure the gas is switched on and you've got the isolator open. So rotate this to the flame symbol, the largest one here, and then just fire it up. And that's that there. And that's your gas now pouring through. You can adjust the gas system by using the wee dial just here. And then once you're done, just switch it off like so. And that's you sorted. Now, very much like the hot station, if you have been cooking with the grill, you want to make sure you leave this down for about 10 so minutes. Let this cool off before shutting this up. And that there is the grill on your Topaz. Located in the large cupboard in the washroom end of your Topaz, just next to the kitchen sink, you are going to find these 4 red taps hiding down here. Now, these are the isolation taps for the gas circuitry for devices around your vehicle. So they are in the on position just now, as indicated with the sticker just here. So when you are traveling, it is recommended that you turn the taps off by just rotating the taps like so into their off position and turning the gas bottle off. And when you arrive on site, just a case of turning them on. And that there is the gas taps. Under the main sofa bunk inside the Topaz, you're going to find this just here, which is the distribution board for the van. So hiding under here, you will have your fuses and you have your distribution board for your trip switches. Now, there is a yellow test button just here. So if you are wanted to test the circuitry when you're hooked up, you can do by using the trip switch. I do recommend maybe carrying on board the van a number of small fuses, just so you can replace fuses if you need to go. And then you have the master charge switch just located here, as it were. Now, when you're powering your van in, it's always not a bad idea for every now and then to test the switches here, make sure things are working correctly. And that covers our distribution board. Located under the sofa bunk on the opposite side to the distribution board, you're going to see this little hole. Now, this under here is where the boiler lives inside the van, but we need this access hole for winterization of the vehicle. So for winterizing your vehicle, you do need to make sure you've drained your fresh tank, your waste tank, and most importantly, you need to make sure you've drained off the boiler. So how do we do that? So hiding down here, you can just make it out here where the tip of my finger is, there's a yellow toggle. Can you see the yellow toggle just there? That yellow toggle is the boiler drain switch. So when it is working correctly, the switch is in the down position. When the boiler is being drained, the switch is in the upright position. So do you drain the boiler off? You just flip the switch. Let me do that just now. So So you can now see it's in the upright position. That will then allow water to drain out of the boiler. And then when it comes to using the boiler again, we just push the switch down. That's it there now in the open position, allow water to flow through. Now, what's quite common is when it is using the van again after the end of a winter season, a lot of people may forget to close this valve back off again. So when you're putting water into the van, you may notice a puddle of water starting to appear underneath the vehicle in this location. It's most likely that you've forgotten to sort this tap out when you're reusing your vehicle. And that covers the winterization of the boiler and the boiler release valve. Now we're going to cover the toilet operation in your Auto-Sleeper Topaz. So the toilet unit is located at the back of the van, and that's it just here. So first things first, you need to open it up, and you do need to open this flap that's in here. That's controlled with this handle. That then opens this flap to allow waste to pass through. So once you are done and you're all finished, then you'll want to flush the toilet, and that is with this button just here. And we hold the button down, and that will then action water like so. Bear in mind that this circuitry will only work if the habitation control panel is switched on to allow electrics to work inside the van. Once that has been finished, don't forget to close the flap. Just avoid any odours coming up through the toilet. And that there is the toilet. Now, alongside the toilet, we do have the toilet cassette, and that is hiding on the very end here. This just pulls off like so. Let's lay that down to the side. And then we have our Thetford chemical toilet. So this just here is the water level for the toilet for the flush. Now the toilet has its own tank. It doesn't use the freshwater tank. So when this level drops down below here, then the flush system will stop operating. To refill the flush, just pull this section out here, undo the cap. Now you will see water just sitting here. That's quite common. Take a watering can and tip water in, and watch the gauge here. And then when the gauge gets to the top, then you can stop filling with water. Just pour nice and gently, just avoid splashing around. Once you've done that, you can then put the lid back onto the flush system. There we go, and then close that back off like so. Now to empty the chemical toilet itself, we need to retrieve it by using the handle here. Pull the handle up, and then you can pull the whole toilet unit out itself, as it were. So to empty the toilet, you would need to undo the cap here. This turns, and you can undo the cap from here, and then you just tilt it out, and there is a pressure release button located on the very end of the unit. There it is just there. So you press that button while tipping the toilet unit out. I would recommend that you flush it a couple of times just to make sure that everything is all clean out of it. When you're putting chemicals in, please just use green. Blue is no longer accepted on most campsites, so the green is the more environmentally friendly one. You can also get the little pod units, which you can put straight into the device if you want to. And the cap on this here acts as a measuring cap as well, so you can use that to measure out your fluid. So once you're all done, want to put about a litre of water inside with your chosen chemical, so you've got a little bit of a water base for the chemical to work. Put the unit back in, slide it wheels first back in until it clicks like so, and that's it locked into place. Now just a wee caveat with pulling the toilet cassette in and out is if the toilet flap, waste flap, is open, then this will not release. So that's nice and stuck, will not come out. It just avoids things dropping through here, going straight into the floor. You can only drop things straight into the cassette unit. So to solve that problem, close that flap. This will then release as normal. And that there covers the toilet and the toilet cassette. So in the bathroom, you have this pull down vanity sink. So to get at it, you just need to turn this out the way, pull the vanity sink down, and then you have the tap unit just hiding in here. This just pulls out like so, and then the tap is ready to use. Now, just pull the faucet up to allow the water to flow. Make sure you've got the water pump on, otherwise the water's not going to go through. And if you have the hot water system on, then you'll be able to use hot water as well. So that is just a case of turning the faucet tap, turning this to the hot water supply for the hot water to come through, or if you just want cold, just turn it the other side instead. Push that down to shut the faucet off. Okay, now this just pulls back over like so, and this water here is going to drain down this part here. So when you tip up the sink, just tip it up slowly, let the water flush like so. If you tip this up too fast, you run the risk of the water splashing out to the sides here and then going over like to the toilet or in your bathroom area. So just tip this up nice and slowly, and then push the flap out of the way. and that there stows that out of the road, as it were. So let's have a quick look at the shower head. Let's use this vanity sink just now for the shower head. So the shower head is located up to the side here. I'm just going to paste that down there just so we can see it operating. So like so. And then you've got the shower faucet just here. This again needs the water pump to operate. So there's the shower faucet just there. I don't want to run it too long because I've got one hand here just now. And that there is the shower head. All working like so. And again, the faucet control here just allows you to change the water temperature of the shower head, be it hot or cold, how you want to use it. Now, obviously with the shower floor, you want to remove the carpet I'm standing on just here, and that then will allow you to just drain straight through onto the floor into the waste tank. And that covers the vanity sinks and shower in the washroom. So let's take a look at the hot water system boiler that's on your Auto-Sleeper. So the hot water system operates on gas. So you need to make sure that you've got the gas tap open and the gas bottle is also open to allow gas to flow through. So once you've done that and you're ready to turn the water boiler on, you do also need to make sure the habitation control system is also active because this requires a 12-volt feed. So you've got off and then on for gas. So let's turn this on. You can see a little green light, and this just here is our temperature controller. So we just rotate this for whatever temperature we want the water to be at. So dishes is normally about 40 degrees. Shower is somewhere between 60 and 70 degrees, depending how hot you'd like it, as it were. If you're just doing eco dishes, then I recommend just running it down to 30. That will get the boiler on nice and quickly, and that's warm enough to obviously quickly clean your dishes. So that normally can take somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes to operate. It's just a case of then using the faucet controls just to see how the water level is going. Once you finish with the water boiler and you don't need it on anymore, it's just a simple case of just rotating the switch, and that then turns the gas boiler system off. So next, let's have a look at putting the beds down inside your Auto-Sleeper Topaz. Now, I've already gone ahead and quickly rotated the two front seats around, ready for this next step. So don't forget, when you're rotating this seat here, wind the backrest as far forward as you can. It just allows the back of the seat to pass around the seat belt. And just make sure there's a little gap just here to allow you to slide this part of the bed frame out. I've also taken out the infill and the two swap cushions just handy, ready, and we'll put those in as we go along. So first things first, let's put the infill. So legs up, like so, lock it into position, and then the curved bit goes at the front. So we just drop that down into there, and that just gives us our mini infill like so. We can now put our two cushions in. So the cushions that we have, there is a long version and a short version. The short version goes on the driver's side like so, and the longer version goes on the passenger seat over here, and we'll deal with this little infill in just a second. Let's push that over for now. So let's get the beds down. So on the front of each bed, you have a black toggle switch located here and here, and this allows you to slide the beds up and down. So let's do this side first. So we're going to push this down, and then we're going to pull the bench forwards. Okay, give it a wee wiggle forwards, get it all the way down, like so. That's it. Then push the cushion in, then use our infill, like so, and that now is this side just here. Now at the moment, you could, if you wish to, use the bed as two small singles, but then to turn it to a double, we need to then move this part of the bed frame over. So there's another toggle on this side, like this one here. We're going to push that down, pull the bed frame out into the middle, like so. And then the backrest cushion will drop into this area here, push it down. And then now that there is your bed all set up. To put the bed away, it's just a case of reversing the process. Pull this cushion up, slide this base back over. It does stop partly, so give it a wee push to push it all the way in. Return this cushion back, and then now we're going to retrieve, just pop that back up for now. We're going to retrieve this bed here. So we're going to pull this up first, flip that out the way, slide this base all the way back, flip that up. That gives us our seat cushion, and then we can retrieve these cushions out the way for stowage, remove our centerpiece. To fold the legs away, just pull this part, drop down, and then we just need to rotate the two front seats. And that there is the beds in your Auto-Sleeper Topaz. So electrical hookup for your Topaz. Your electrical hookup's located down on the driver's side of the vehicle under this little flap just here. So you do obviously need to have your hookup cable ready. And the way it goes is that to plug into the van, you plug the van in first and then plug the other end of the cable in to turn on your power source. So open the flap, open the cover of your cable, and that just slides on until you hear it click. There you go, and that's it then secured in. So take the other end of the cable and then go and plug it into the energy source. Now, on a campsite, I would always strongly recommend that you check the trip switch on the camp plug just to make sure that is working correctly so your van isn't the last line of defense in a case of electrical surge. Do make sure that your cable is fully unfurled. Do not leave your cable all curled up in a neat pile. The cable will get extremely hot and it can melt. When you are unplugging the van, you want to unplug the energy source first and then disconnect the van last. When you disconnect, just pull the cable out like so, return the flap and make sure it clicks shut. Otherwise it will open when you drive and flap about. So when you fill your cable back up, it's a good time then to check the condition of the cable, make sure there's no nicks or tears or breaks in the cable, and obviously check the condition of your sockets, make sure that everything seems to be in fine working order. If you suspect any damage to the cable, I strongly recommend that you replace the cable immediately with a brand new one. So while we are here, we're going to take a look at this device just here. So this is the flue for the Truma water boiler that's inside your van. Now, when you are operating the boiler, you need to take this cover off. It's extremely important. This cover just pulls up like so, unclips, and then that exposes the flue to allow the boiler to operate. When you finish using the boiler, you just need to return this. So hook the clips back on the top, push it in till it clips. Make sure it's secure by giving it a little wiggle, and that just covers that all up for you. And that there covers electrical hookup and the Truma flue for the hot water system. So located down along the passenger side of your Auto-Sleeper Topaz, you're going to see these two taps. Your first one is this one here, which is your grey waste tap. So this is water that's gone in through the kitchen sink, the shower floor or the vanity sink. It gets stored into the grey tap. And this one down here at the very front is the blue one, and this is your fresh water tap. So this is for water that goes into the vehicle, which it then supplies the boiler and supplies the water supply to the van itself. Don't forget that the fresh water tank does not supply water to the toilet. It has its own little flush tank, and we cover that in another part of this video. So first things first, fresh water fill. So our fresh water fill is located on the side of the van just here under this cap. Now this cap works just like a filler cap. So you plug the key in, turn the key to unlock the cap, and then remove the key and then turn the device. Don't try to turn the device with the key or you'll snap the key in the filler neck, and that's not a great idea. So insert your water hose into that, fill it up until either you're satisfied you've got enough water on board. Don't forget you can check the level on the habitation panel if you want to partly fill the van for travel, or let the water backwash out and then you know the tank is completely full. So for winterizing your vehicle or for service and maintenance of your vehicle, you do need to open these taps. So the tap is just a simple case, you just rotate this hard part here. There's a little cap on the very end which you can remove, and that will allow water to flow out. And likewise, exactly the same here with the fresh tap. Take the little cap off, rotate the tap, and that will allow water to flow. So for winterization, it's recommended that you empty the fresh water tank, let the water all drain out. I would recommend that you leave the tap open, and then don't forget to drain your waste tap here as well. Make sure you leave that open too. Now, you may need to take the vehicle for a little drive just to slosh out the last of the wastewater out of this, but again, leave this tap open as part of your winterization. Don't forget to drain the boiler, which we covered in another part of this video. And that there covers our waste tanks and our fresh tanks, as well as the water infill for your Topaz. So there you go, that's the Handover video for the Auto-Sleeper Topaz. I hope you guys find it useful. As I said at the start of the video, I do recommend that you maybe bookmark the video or maybe download it to the device so you have it handy reference when you're out about in the field. But of course, as I said to you, if you are stuck and need a little bit of help, do please reach out to us here at Highland Campervans. We're more than happy to assist you on your adventures out and about. All that left for me to say is we wish you many happy miles motoring in your home, and we look forward to welcoming you again here at Highland Campervans. Bye for now.